Hello friends, welcome to Kavita's classroom. So in the last lecture we had been talking about supply and we did talk about the expansion, contraction, increase, decrease of supply. And today's topic in hand is price elasticity of supply. It's no new topic for you. We have already read the similar topic in demand, right? So before proceeding ahead, one simple request, do like, share and subscribe my channel. So when we talk about elasticity, what is there? Elasticity means, yeah, we are able to stretch it. I gave you, while dealing with demand, the keyword called change. Whenever change happens as a response to some pressure or some force which is applied, it means the things are elastic. Right. So here, when we talk about price elasticity of supply, it means when the supply changes on account of the force, which is price. Right. So how do we talk about it in definition form? The measurement of the percentage change in the quantity supplied in response to the same percentage change, some percentage change in its own price, right? So this is simply, it's the percentage method, and we talk about the percentage change in the quantity with respect to percentage change in price. This is quantity supplied, okay? And we land on the same formula. The only difference is in demand, we had a prefix called -1, and that was just a symbolic of inverse relationship of price and quantity. But here we do not have any such prefix because they go in the same direction. If the price rises, the quantity supplied also goes up. Okay. So the formula is delta Q by delta P into P by Q. And this is the same formula which we used in demand. Fine. So proceeding further, they have given you one simple illustration. You can just go for it, solve it. I hope it would be very easy after doing those numericals of demand also. Shape of supply curve and elasticity of supply. Remember, we talked about 5 degrees of demand, right? Demand elasticity, wherein just try to recall what had these been. These are two extreme values, and this is just the mid of it, and here we had a flatter curve and a steeper curve. Are you able to recall the degrees? The degrees are here. The elasticity was nil. It was perfectly. These two cases are with the prefix perfectly inelastic and perfectly elastic. When we say perfectly, these are the extreme values where there is numerator or denominator is happening to be 0. I'll tell you how and why. So here it is perfectly elastic means this is infinite elasticity. Here the elasticity is equal to 1. This is greater than 1 and this is smaller than 1. You must understand that flatter the curve, elastic it is, steeper the curve, less elastic it is. And we call it greater than unit elastic or simply elastic, right? But when it comes to supply, we have exactly the same all 5 degrees. The only difference is here the slope would be positive for the curve. So these two curves, these two degrees remain the same. Elasticity equal to 0, elasticity equal to infinity remain the same for supply as well. Here, these three curves show a change. How? Here it is upward sloping. Here it is again upward sloping, but it is if we are talking about greater than first, then it is going to be flatter. Right. So this comes out to be, this is flatter curve and this is steeper curve. The elasticity here is equal to 1. Here the elasticity is greater than 1 and here the elasticity is smaller than 1. So if you compare, this is flatter curve, this is also flatter, but it's going down and it's going up. This is steeper curve, right? When you're talking about demand, elasticity less than 1. Again, it is again a steeper curve, but this curve of demand is going down and this curve of demand is going up. If you just check how it behaves when you move towards right while moving from origin. right? So let's go in detail how it happens. So when we talk about elasticity, see, the first diagram is saying elasticity equal to 1. There is very important point you must note that whenever on extension, the supply curve moves from origin at any angle. So my point is, if you are making it pass at this angle, this angle, this angle, but if at all it passes from origin, the elasticity is said to be equal to 1, and this concept is most often used in numericals. It's just a trap given that the supply curve moves from origin at an angle of 75 degrees, 40 degrees, 45 degrees, 80 degrees, 90 degrees, not 90, 80 degrees, 70 degrees. So point is, whenever it is given that it is passing from the origin, the only interpretation you must have is elasticity is equal to 1. Right. When you talk about elasticity greater than 1, I told you it's going to be a flatter curve. What is the other thing you must know? That it passes from the y-axis, or in some books we do see that it passes from the negative of x-axis on extension. People say so. And when you talk about elasticity less than 1, they say it passes from x-axis, or the other terms are it passes from the negative of y-axis on extension. So you have to just be mindful about which words are used to give you the indication. Okay. And then you have the extreme situations, elasticity equals to 0, where there is no change in the quantity, and elasticity infinity, where there is extreme change. I just want you to bring back to your own calculations once again that the formula is elasticity is equal to percentage change in the quantity with respect to percentage change in the price, right? So when we talk about equal to 1 here, it means that the change here on quantity axis and the price axis is going to be somewhat similar, the same. But when you talk about elasticity greater than 1, right? Elasticity greater than 1 means the percentage change in the quantity with respect to percentage change in the price is greater than 1. It means the change in quantity is more, right? So quantity is more. It's clearly reflected from here. Take any 2 points, right? Drop these on x and y axis, and you would see that the change on the quantity axis is more than the price axis. That's why it's flatter in shape. Whenever we say flatter in shape, it's greater than 1, and the change on quantity axis is greater. On a very similar note, when you talk about elasticity less than 1, so how does it behave? Delta Q by delta P in this is percentage change in quantity with respect to percentage change in price is less than 1. So here the quantity axis is showing lesser change. Take any 2 points of reference and you can justify this. Drop this down on x and y axis. So when you are dropping it on x axis, see the change on quantity is lesser than the change on price. And when we talk about zero elasticity, what does this mean now? Percentage change in the quantity with respect to percentage change in price is 0. And when would you have 0? When the numerator is 0. It means there is no change on the quantity axis. But when you talk about infinite elasticity, so the percentage change in quantity with respect to percentage change in price is infinity. And when would you have infinity? When you have 0 in the denominator. It means the 0 change is found on the price. It means there is no change in price. Price is the same at all the positions. Hence, it's a line parallel to x-axis. So it's the same rationality as we did in the degrees of elasticity while doing the concept of demand. Now let's begin talking about factors affecting the elasticity of supply. The first is the nature of inputs. If the nature of inputs are quite available, easily available, so it's elastic. Anytime it can be increased, anytime it can be reduced. But if it is specialized input or some complex input, then it would be inelastic. The natural constraint, right? For example, the agricultural products. teak wood. So it takes time to grow. Even if the price is very high, you cannot just give the delivery the next day, because so in this case it becomes less elastic because there is a natural constraint in its production, right? Then you talk about risk taking. So those who are risk lovers, they would be taking more risks and they would be more elastic, they would be giving any sort of supplies anytime. So the elasticity factor grows with the higher risk. Okay. Moving ahead, the nature of commodity. Perishability reduces the elasticity. Why? Because if the things are perishable, people don't feel like keeping the stock of the same because that would land in trouble and would reduce their profits, right? So perishable goods are always taken in safe stocks, right? Because of their short shelf life. Hence, their elasticity is less. When you talk about the cost of production, so supply would be less elastic in case the increase in production causes a substantial increase in the cost of production. So costly things means less elastic, and cheaper things when are to be produced would be elastic in nature. Time factor, the same as we explained in demand also, that longer time always gives you more elasticity, more scope of change. And the technique of production, wherever the complex and expensive techniques are to be used, these are less elastic, and wherever there is easily available cheaper techniques are to be used, those are more elastic. Any producer may begin any day, right? So that will help you enhance the supply. So with this, we are done with the chapter supply. All your doubts, all your queries are welcome. I request all of you to give good time and effort to your studies. Score well. Bye-bye. God bless.